They issued an executive order. We did not take that lying down.
We wrote back in September to the Secretary Mayorkas, and it was following up on the executive order that President Biden announced on the access to reproductive healthcare services. And broadly, there were a couple of issues we had with questions for DHS. Specifically, it was the language used about, quote, deceptive or fraudulent practices related to reproductive health care. We know that's language used by Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry to describe pro-life pregnancy centers. That is the exact wording they use. The second part was that, they're applying this rule, the FACE Act, the Free Access to Clinics Act. And we said, okay, if you're going to do that for the abortion clinics, you're going to task the FBI with this. And we talk about that in the letter. Then what about the pro-life pregnancy centers? They do reproductive health. And they're getting targeted. So if they get targeted, then are you going to go after those people who firebomb them with RICO statutes and with the FACE Act statutes?
And their answer was basically this. Dear Mr. Secretary, this was addressed to Jordan as the executive director of the ACLJ. We appreciate your detailed expression of concern regarding how the executive order may be implemented. The department is committed to carrying out the direction of the president, including assignments made to it in the executive order in a manner consistent with the Constitution and all applicable laws. What's so interesting about this, though, is not only do they basically say we're not going to do anything other than what the president says, even though we would be covered by the FACE Act, they're not, pro-life pregnancy centers, resource centers would be, they're not going to do it. And they responded in such a way that tells you they're not going to do it, which is more of what these issues are really all about.
We put them on notice that we would be absolutely filing and closely monitoring everything that comes out of these reports, and that we will take legal action if we need to protect these PRCs.
And we are. So we are already in a defensive mode for the pregnancy resource centers. But let me be clear here, and Jordan, I think, wants to reiterate this. They've tried to make abortion an election issue of paramount. But every time they score it, I notice it's only 15%. It's like 15, it's like the second or third important issue, even to the Democratic voters. So while they're trying to do all this, making this the most important issue that there is, the fact of the matter is you got to fight them where it counts. And where it counts right now is either in court or through the legislative process, or this is really the regulatory process with this executive order.
I mean, it's so obvious now how politically motivated the prosecutions are, and the indictments and the investigations.
Or lack of
They're not even about issues. They're just about the people.
Look, they brought all these free access to clinic entrances indictments against two groups, one in Tennessee, the other one I think was Pennsylvania. And they made these big announcements. They did these, the raids with the FBI. Just meanwhile, you've had crisis pregnancy centers, firebombed, destroyed. And I don't know of an investigation that's going on by the FBI at this point.
The FACE investigations, I think it's up to 22 where they've gone after pro-life protesters. And we do not know of one where they have gone after anybody who's firebombed, targeted, vandalized
and Jane's
the pregnancy
Revenge acknowledged
research.
that they did it. I mean, that group Jane's Revenge said, we did this.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, they know that they've done it.
And who's the organizer, who's the money behind this, and go after them with RICO and organized, treat them like organized crime, which they admitted they are.
But no one's taken action on them.
No one's taken action, and the ones that they've taken action against the pro-life protesters, these are 1.5 to 3 years old.
There's a big difference between putting your body on the line to protest and firebombing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, one is
civil disobedience,
and one is arson.
Arson. They're both crimes because one would be normally a trespass.
But different kinds of crimes.
One's
very different.
One would be a state trespass action. The other would be an arson, which is a felony of a big magnitude. Yeah. But there's the double. To say there's a double standard is unreal. But I want to say this to our ACLJ members: we got a response from DHS. Trust me, they know we're looking.